Hey, my name is Amelia Poamz. I'm a presenter. I'm a music enthusiast. I'm a community coordinator. I'm a workshop facilitator, all the names under the sun. Basically, I just like to use my voice to hold spaces where people feel seen and appreciated. I recently have launched an initiative called the Under 5K Club, which is all about celebrating, championing, and shining a light on really talented music artists that have under 5,000 followers. Why did I do this? Why have I done this? I've done this because we are very much in a day and age where follower counts, views, and all the numbers seem to just have taken over, which has added so much pressure to creatives now, where you need to have an online presence that can sometimes be taken away from your creative practice, but also can just make you feel like maybe you're not good enough, or maybe you're not being noticed, or maybe you're being overlooked. And I've actually heard industry folk literally talk about following and talk about the need to have a large following. So that's why I created the space, just to add a refreshing take on having under 5,000 followers, because we all start from somewhere. And I think when you're growing a community, when you're growing a fan base, when you're putting yourself out there, we should appreciate every step of the process. That being said, though, I want all of the artists that I talk about to reach the point where they have a huge social media following. I definitely do want that. But it got me thinking anyway, like, what actually changes when you do? What does it actually mean? I'm lucky enough to have known and know loads of music artists that are actually doing really quite well, and they have surpassed 5,000 followers. I mean, they've surpassed well over 50,000 followers. And I thought actually I'd use this space to share some knowledge and insight, not from myself, but from artists like that. So I'm going to be joined very shortly by 4 very talented music artists that I've been lucky enough to see grow through their journey, not only grow as artists, but grow their social media following too. And I want to get the tea. Does it actually mean anything? Does it open doors, or does suddenly you just enter a new lane where the pressures are the same, but they're higher? Let's find out.
What can I do to make my music be seen? Post on social media.
That's why I said at the start of the year, I was on 3K, and I was like, okay, if I can get to 10K by December 1st, that would be sick.
Boom. If you're consistent enough and you really put the work in, you can be seen by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
And my posts that went viral were very much posts to reach people. You know, they weren't like music video clips and things like that. They were posts that I engineered to reach people, and they did.
In the beginning, I was calm doing whatever on TikTok, but on Instagram, I was like,
that's the thing, innit?
I was like, those are not my, like,
know me. Yeah.
I just believe we are the digital equivalent of drug dealers.
It's crazy how we speak about followers as well. Like, is that in our account?
Nothing.
I think there's like social currency in the music industry. It's just like life.
All right, I'm going to play the lottery. I'm just going to start posting things every day.
Like, I wouldn't have that opportunity necessarily if it wasn't for social media.
There was one time Sunday morning, I had a dry elbow. I went Greg's.
We've experienced virality for reasons that we want to on our terms.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, he's rating me for my music, but I hope he doesn't see my elbow.
You all know what it feels like to go viral. How did you actually do it?
There's just something daily that you need to do and commit to and see what happens.
And you have a choice to either be like, you know, my music career is happening to me, or I'm happening to it.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So, my name is Amelia Poamz. I'm a presenter. I'm a music enthusiast. I'm joined by 4 artists that I've had the privilege of seeing them grow their following right before my eyes. I've actually interviewed them all on BBC. I feel like, did I give you all your debuts?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I gave you.
Phone. Yeah.
Over the phone?
Yeah.
Did I give you your BBC debut?
No, on Radio London, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Radio
So
London, yeah.
debut. Gave them all the debuts, but I've also just seen them, just grow their following, being really creative, remaining authentic as well, which I think is a key point too. And And I'm just seizing the opportunity now where I can get them before they blow, and I got to go through tens of millions of managers just to get them in one room. So I have with me Deeriginal. Here he is, yes. Who actually currently at the moment, about 20k followers. And I feel like that's been very recent for you.
Yeah, it's just shot up this year. Like I started this year on 4.
Wow.
I think I started on 4 or 3. Maybe 3. Yeah.
Sexy. So this is really current for you as well. We've got the Halfway Kid as well, which I feel like you and Ashaine's content is kind of what even sparked my idea for the under 5k club.
Sick.
Because I feel like you were so honest, like, listen, I need followers. You know what I mean? Like, do you like my music? Come find my music. Do you know what I'm saying? But yes, you're on about 77k followers now.
Something like that, yeah.
This is crazy. And we got Ashainë White here, another music artist who is on nearly 30k followers. We love this. It's crazy how we speak about followers as well. Like, is that in our account?
Nothing. No, wow.
And exactly.
It's because he lives.
Exactly. And we got namesbliss, Lively, who's on about 65k followers. And again, I think what you all have in common here is your content. I really enjoy watching it. You're all creative, but I feel like you've seized your opportunities. I feel like you've done it quite well. And you're doing the shows, you know, you're putting out the music still, and it'd be good to know whether it's actually translating over to, I guess, the space where it matters. So firstly, let's set the tone, let's set the pace. Going viral, what does that even mean? I mean, do you actually feel like you've gone viral in this room?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I feel that. As in, viral, it's just a lot of attention, innit? Essentially, it's just a lot of attention, whether that's a few thousand, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people paying attention and interacting with your content. That's virality, innit? I'd say, yeah, I think so, because since going viral, I get stopped by people in the street more. I would say that. I don't know if you lot feel the same, but I would say that that's a thing. Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I think like it's hard to make sense of it, to be honest, because I feel like there's different kinds of viral. Like I think like at the moment, like Tommy Richmond's viral, and that means that your grandmother knows who he is. And I feel like it's hard to kind of gauge. Like I've had similar experiences to you where you have a video hit like a couple of million views, and it just sounds crazy even saying it like that. But then, and so yes and no, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, let's just say yes or simplify it down. Yeah, I do feel.
Technically, I mean, the definition of going viral is a piece of content reaching thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
Then yes.
You've got a post that reached like 4 million views.
Oh,
so,
that's viral.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
You've gone viral.
do you know-
Yeah, do you know what? Cut all of that.
Yeah.
Let's retake that.
Yes.
Have you gone? Yes, I have.
You've gone viral. What about you, Ashainë White? Do you feel like you've gone viral?
Yeah, I think for sure. Like, and also I think for me, what I wanted to achieve from quote unquote going viral is reaching people who were open to my genre of music, and that's what I did from my post. So I feel like if I was to, because it's funny because I've gone viral on other posts that aren't about my music, and that doesn't really feel like I've gone viral. Like I don't really care.
Yeah.
But when that first post started reaching people that was about my music and explaining to people who I was authentically and having people get on board with my journey, that was viral to me.
So again, intentionality. And we're definitely going to touch on that as well. What about you, Bliss?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. And I think, yeah, for music, 100%. And I think when it's for music, it does feel more fulfilling when it's for music and people then engage with the music more. I did something similar where I was just looking for who likes my music. The music was already made, everything was done. And my thing was, okay, I've worked hard on this music. How do I get this? How do I get this to the people who love it as much as I do? So that was the psyche behind it. And then you just make videos.
So we're all on the same page now. I picked the right artist. You all know what it feels like to go viral. It's reflected in your follower counts as well. But let's go back to, I guess, a time where you had under 5,000 followers, yeah? Because I feel like with all of you, there was that intention, like you said, whether it was finding the people that liked your music, whether it's just putting yourself out there more like that. Why? Why did you feel like that's something you needed to do for yourself and for for the music? Like, why? And what was your perception of, I guess, going viral then? So let's go. We're going back in time. Like, what did the old you think before you done all the work?
I can start.
Yeah.
I think I was really happy with my follower count before, and hilariously, those were followers that I'd gained from doing gigs and doing shows and meeting people in real life. So they felt really like special to me. I think for me, similar to what Bliss just said about like, I had music made that sounds different to music people expect me to do, music in the charts, music that I hear other people making. And I kind of needed to, I've already proved to myself that it's my music and that's what I like by making it, doing it, releasing it, gigging it. But the reality is the industry is not watching if your numbers aren't there. It helps them take the bite that they need to have the whole pie. So I think I wanted to prove to people that say, you know, you're too hard to sell. Is it alternative music? What's grunge soul? What's that? You're playing guitar, but you're a black girl from London. Like, do you not want to just make soul music or R&B music? And that I wanted to prove to those people that say that there's hordes of people ready to see this if you're ready to show it to them, because I'm ready to make it. So that's when I decided to start posting videos, and I thought that would take me 2 years, 3 years to get to 10k followers. It was my goal, and I had a couple of successions of viral videos that hit over 1 million views, and I was at 30k by a month.
That's such a quick transition as well. So almost like you're taking the power back in a way.
Yeah.
Because I guess especially we look at the music industry, a lot of it was about getting that sign-in from a label. And what social media has done, and we're still seeing it now, is it's disrupted how music is distributed, who has the power, who's the tastemakers, all of that. So you mentioned as well that you felt like maybe you're being overlooked by certain like industry folk without a following. Did anyone else feel like that? That is like, okay, I need to get this amount of following so it can open up certain doors for me in my own career?
I think so. I think there's like social currency in the music industry. It's just like life. So I think people perceive you to be doing well. And then I feel like when you don't need people's help, they want to help you the most. So there's that element. And that's what I've noticed. So it's like people that before, when I was on like 4,000, 5,000, I was still as good as I was. I was still as good as I am now then, just had less followers. I would want an opportunity. And maybe if I had a good relationship with them, I'll get the opportunity or I'll get the open door, whatever. But it was a lot harder to navigate. Whereas once they perceive and once they see that you're quote unquote doing well and you don't need them, then naturally they're just gonna open the door. Because it reflects better on them if they associate with you. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone else felt that now? That like,
Yeah, I feel that.
go on.
I feel that like big time.
Your DMs are flooded.
Like there might be, I don't know, applications I'd apply for certain schemes or funding or artist developments or anything really. Like there's, or just wanting to be accepted by people, organizations or companies or whatever it is. And noticing that I would try so hard to like reach people, whether it's sending emails or atting people on the internet directly or DMs, whatever it is, and naturally not being as successful and getting much responses from people, industry people, people. But, yeah, people with it, everyone, everyone's person. So, but I've noticed now, with all this virality that I've experienced, people are just coming to me. So maybe a year ago there would have been a competition that I applied to do and just didn't get accepted or didn't make it to the next stage or something. But in this year, the people making that competition are approaching me to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And noticing that it's the root of it is about how much of a crowd you're able to gather, whether it's on the internet or in person, and noticing when people see you and a crowd digitally or physically in person, that makes them go, oh, this person has got something going on with other people. I want to be a part of that, essentially. It's kind of like a universe, and like everybody's like a sun, innit? And like if people see a sun that's shining, like it's like a gravitational pull, innit? So yeah, just going back to what you're saying, like I felt the difference majorly this year.
And what about you in terms of like when you were like, okay, putting out the content to grow your following, to find your fans and stuff, was that also coming from a place of I'm tired of the barriers that you might have been facing?
I think for me, it become apparent from early on that the kind of music I was making wasn't similar to what people found exciting in the music industry. But which is important and is part of it. But the main thing was I'd got to a point where I loved my music. Like, I don't think, it's not controversial to say, I don't think the world needs more music if it's not like authentic or not something that you feel like you need to say. I think that's why people say there's a lot of stuff that's kind of brushes past them because it's easy to kind of brush it off past you. And I think that was my first concern. And then once I felt like there was things that, you get to that stage in your music where you're like, I think this is ready. Like, I think this is good to go. Then there's no avenues because of what's happened there's very little avenues what's happened to like live music and what's happened to other. So if you want new people to find your music, there's kind of, and you're not immediately clear as like, that's the golden child. You just throw some money around that and it's gonna go, which is fair play to them. It's like there was nowhere else to go, so it doesn't even feel like a choice really, because it's either be unhappy about it being social media or just do it and hope and
play the lottery, innit?
that's it. Yeah. And but you don't. But I don't want it to feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you're right. Like yeah. So that's why.
Because it's also, I think it's important to mention that I think you also kind of coined your own genres in a way. Like you've had your own different sound that if we go by, let's say, how labels and the music industry has worked before, it's like they always want to box you in, but like, are you making this? Like, how will the fans perceive you, whatever? And I think now you putting yourself out there, you've coined your own genre, whatever you call it, and you found that, yeah, people do like what you make. So I guess have you removed the gatekeeper in a way? Do you feel like you've removed... Yeah, do you think by doing this, there's certain things that you have realised, oh my God, that wasn't the case, or...
I think yes and no. I think yes in the sense that like I feel like I can win on my own terms in a different way. So in terms of how I see my career now, is more, okay, how can I make this long lasting? How can I grow at my own pace? How can I build a community of people that really enjoy this sound that I'm making? That my mind's changed. In terms of gatekeepers, like there's still an understanding in me that there is a machine out there that has access to a whole load of people and a whole load of resources and a whole load of things that does exist that are kind of bricking it in a way now because they have all of this resource, but the game's changed now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are artists who are taking the power in their own hands and just building their own followings and able to do it themselves. But it doesn't mean that I'm not still aware of the power they have because, do you know what I mean? There's still going to be Taylor Swift and all them, man. Do you know what I mean? That exists. That machine is alive and kicking. Yeah.
All right, let's get practical as well now because there's tons of gurus on social media telling you exactly how you go viral. Like, okay, how did you actually do it? Did you have a methodology? Were you kind of just literally playing the lottery, like boom, boom, boom? Was it more like just the more I shoot out, something's got to catch? Or were you very strategic? Did you have a schedule? Did you plan your content? Like, what was it? Because you still have different types of content in a way.
Big up comedians. That's what I'll say first and first. I was just thinking about a lot of people that I saw on social media that are very consistent with their content. And one of the biggest groups that I felt was comedians. So like Munya Chihuahua, Moda Comedian, Paps, Ava Herons, bare people. Like I noticed that as a consumer of content on the internet, I'm laughing at these same people that come up on my feed and they're in my consciousness because they just post every day, like, or if not every day, every other day, and they're just a consistent force. And then I thought about my godbrother, who is a construction worker, in fact, sorry, a plumber, I should say specifically, and I remember watching his rise in followers on the internet, on Instagram specifically. And again, it was just him and his son just posting content quite consistently for an extended period of time. So I got to the start of this year and I was just like, all right, I'm going to play the lottery. I'm just going to start posting things every day. But it wasn't like an immediate switch. Being on the internet for years, I'd post here and there and post things and whatnot. But this year I said, okay, if there's 30 days in a month on average, I'm going to make 10 days of content and post it 3 times to make 30 days, or 15 days of content and post it twice, because people are fickle. Social media is a fickle place, and you know, sometimes you see things, you interact, sometimes you don't, you forget things. But I just thought to myself, it's people. I need to stay in people's consciousness. So I just want to stay in people's consciousness. I'm gonna give it a go. And I said, that's why I said at the start of the year, I was on 3K, and I was like, okay, if I can get to 10K by December 1st, that would be sick. Like, I'm on 20 now, and
October.
It's just a daily habit thing. It's just, I just think in anything really, it's a daily habit thing. Whether it's athletes, any type of athlete, you think they train every day, they practice every day. Chefs, you know, they cook every day, or maybe not every day, but they cook consistently. I just started to look around and think to myself, okay, there's just something daily that you need to do and commit to and see what happens.
So do you think then it's more like the art of engagement then? Because I know you're saying like chefs, they might cook every day, athletes, they train every day. But about 20 years ago, music artists didn't have to do this. They didn't have to put themselves out there every day.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, yeah, I want to say something about that as well.
Listen, chime in.
I hear that a lot. I hear, like, you know, in the 90s, like Tom York didn't have to be posted on POV. No, but they had to do months and months of interviews, radio interviews, TV interviews. And that was all at the hands of their label that would put them in those situations. Now we have the actual power to put out our message every day. Look, when I did the same thing. I said, look, I had a management team. Like, I was putting out good music. My producer was putting in the work. Everyone's putting in the work. What can I do to make my music be seen? Post on social media. 4-second videos. That's all I did. Like, it was not hard work. Like, it took a while to figure out what I wanted to say in that video. Yeah, that was a bit stressful. Maybe it took a couple months of trying and being like, that's not quite it. People aren't hitting it yet. Once you understand what you want to say to the world, people are ready to hear it, you know? Like, it's an annoying thing to have to do. I want to write songs. I want to sing to people. I want to meet people in real life. I want to go on tour. In order to do all of those things, I need to post on social media.
Okay, so maybe it's more PR, it's press that you're doing
press.
for yourself.
It's free.
For free.
Yeah, it's free press.
Free.
It's free exposure. And I think what you said is key, because it's like, we often think that in the past it was easier, when in the past it was actually harder to be an artist. The barrier of entry was ridiculous.
Very true.
I mean, you'll be, Eminem standing outside a record label hoping to find the A&R and give him your CD. And then there's like a 1 in 100,000 chance that you'll even be clocked by the A&R and then get your label deal. And the only way to be seen by the masses was through label distribution primarily. Whereas now, you can make music in your bedroom, you know, wear a nice outfit, film something that's authentic to you, and boom, if you're consistent enough and you really put the work in, you can be seen by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. So I think it's easier now, but I also think we're humans. So naturally, if something doesn't go well for me, my brain will go into the mode of like, yeah, man, things are against me. Unless I have a mentality that overcomes that, which is usually the hurdle of like what you said, Ashainë, where you said, rah, I've got the producer, I've got this, I've got that. What can I do? And that's the taking responsibility. And you have a choice to either be like, you know, my music career is happening to me, or I'm happening to it. And I think is that when that changes, once you get into the mentality of like, I'm the one doing it, it changes everything. Like, no one owes me anything. No one. And what you said about consciousness, true, so true. Like, when you're seeing it every day, and I thought to myself, if I'm seeing Money every day and I'm laughing, and when I'm seeing him, I'm not looking at him thinking, oh, him again. I'm thinking he's showing me another video, and this is funny.
Do you know what? That's so true. Because you do get to a point where, like, I feel like I might be jumping ahead a little bit.
Go for it.
I feel, and I'd love to open this up to the room and get you guys, when you post something, you've got a strategy. Like mine was like 4 second, if this girl, blah, 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 blah. And I was posting that every day. I was like, are people getting tired of this? Are people like seeing it and scrolling past? Or like, but it's so true. Like when you do see Munya pop up, yeah, he might be doing a different piece of content, but even if I've seen the same content from him, I'm still like, oh, it's that guy. And then I just go on about my day. You know what I mean? It's like
consciousness sometimes.
Do you guys found that like that repetitiveness? How have you found that, like posting the same song 3 times or posting your same caption over again? Like how have you found that? How have you like?
It's confirmed that you can repost as much as you want because you're gonna get a different response every time. Like one of my most viral videos is this video of me in my vest and I was bald at the time. I'm growing my hair back now, but I was bald. The camera's bare grainy.
I remember.
And I posted it one time and it didn't really get much of a response. And then and then I posted it again, nothing. And then I posted it one more time and I just asked, I put like a question in a caption and it was just the one. It was just it was just the one. But if I said to myself, I posted this once, I shouldn't post again, you know, because like now I'm repeating it and it's dead, then I never would have known or experienced that virality that we're talking about. It's like, you know, when you think about when you're a kid, yeah, and you're watching cartoons and the episode that you've seen before has come, and you know what's going to happen, but you're watching it again because you like it. Like for a lot of humans, we actually like repetition a lot. You know, we like, I don't know about you lot, but in a month, I can eat a lot of the same meals because I actually like the food. Like
I've been eating aubergines for
aubergines
for too long.
Yeah, don't get old.
No, I don't.
You might just add slight variations to it to make some differences, but you like the source of it, innit?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that reposting things is good. Like I don't think anybody should shy away from it. I think none of us should shy away from it because you never know. We have nothing to lose in that sense, you know.
So how did you like come up with your style? Because yours was very like direct, looking at the camera. Hey, I make this. My name's the Harvard Kid. I make this kind of music. And how did you feel posting that a lot?
I think so. 2 things. Like I think what you said, like I really agree with. Like the best thing about it is that you're reaching new people, and you can. It's the best thing about social media is people can feel like a sense of community, and they can be in like 2 different places, 2 different countries, 2 different everything. Like, and I think that's the best thing about it, and that's what makes it feel nice, like and feel the most rewarding, and it's a direct relationship. Like the app is in the way, but mostly direct relationship. And so I wanted to have that in the stuff that I posted, because like I always like music that talks to you, not at you. I always like that kind of feeling of I guess in a weird way intimacy, but yeah, I guess that's the right word. And so I wanted that feeling of directness in what I posted. So that's probably where that came from. And in terms of the repetition, that was challenging initially, because it's like when you do a gig and you introduce a song in a certain way, if you do it again and someone is in the same audiences, you feel like a fraud. You shouldn't, but it's that kind of thing. But what I realized was exactly what you guys said, which is no one's thinking about you that much. And what it was in the beginning, I was calm I was doing whatever on TikTok, but on Instagram, I was like,
that's the thing, innit?
I was like, those are like my
They know me. Yeah.
And so in the beginning, it was literally like you post something and you'd be like, but then what I realized was no one's thinking about you that much, and it's changed. Maybe it used to be an app where, do you remember when people used to do the grids?
Mhm.
Every picture was like a corner. Do you remember the first time you saw that?
Like
You're
it
like,
makes one whole
you're
photo.
like, that's gold. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Let me just click on this square, and I'd be like, that's so weird. That's just like half your elbow.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, whatever. I'm going.
No, but I hated when people done that. You know?
But you used to make me laugh a lot because they obviously, like, when it would come up on your feed one by one, you just get like half an ear, and you'd be like, where's the rest of it? But anyway, so no one's thinking about you that much, and it's getting out your own way. And also, it's what you said. Like, it's sometimes it's not even showing it to the same people. Like, I know when I post, 77,000 people are not seeing what I'm posting.
Yes.
Like,
That's
for
it.
whatever reason, my fault, whatever. Like, they're not seeing it, so it shouldn't be treated like that. But that's very difficult as well,
It is no, it is difficult.
because that can encourage an attitude that is bad, I think.
Oh, and elaborate on that.
Because if it's the app, or not the app, if you can feel encouraged that it doesn't matter, then that can seep into what you're doing. And if it feels like you're not caring about what you're saying, I'm not talking about like HD or whatever, and like Chris, even whatever it is, if you don't care about what you're saying, then I know that I feel that when I scroll sometimes, where I'll be like, I understand how it's got to that point where people don't care about what they're posting, but you're recreating a sense of it just being meaningless. If that makes sense. Sorry, we took a big left turn into grid photos for a little while.
Do you know what though? I want to talk about your style of content, Bliss, because I feel like TFL should have sponsored you at one point because you were on the
I said underground rapper.
Literally. But like, yeah, because a lot of people might have taken the angle of being inside and it's very much cozy. I'm at home, I'm inviting you in. I feel like you've done a mixture of that with yours, D. But I think with you, I feel like most of the content I've seen of yours, you've been traveling. It's almost like it's on the go.
It's on the go, yeah. 100%.
But the content was still very crisp. Like there was still an intentionality behind it.
Shit, hold tight, my wifey though. That's a big part of it. A big part of it, because obviously, so when we were engaged, you need to understand. So what happened was, there was a video that I did at Bellamy where that went viral. This is one example of the virality. It went viral, and in my head, I understood that I didn't want that to be a flash in the pan. I knew it went viral. I knew why it went viral, but I thought this is not going to be a flash in the pan. And we were so busy. She lived in Sudbury at the time, and I lived in Ruislip. I was in Ruislip. She was in Sudbury, and we might have a day where we'll go calf, whatever, work, do whatever, just chill, hang out, and then or I might go work and we'll link up. Then when we're parting ways, I'll ask her, be like, can you call me? It's quick.
I love
And it
that.
became routine. So the reason why I'm on the train station, because that's usually where we're parting ways.
That's amazing.
So then we part ways. So let me do this quickly. Then we did a part ways. So that's how it happened. It wasn't like, hey, let's plan to go to the underground. It was just, we happened to be parting ways there, and then we made the content there, and then it worked. It just worked.
Wow. So
That is going to go viral.
No, but that's what
That
happened.
story is going to go viral.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
That is the most
Yeah.
beautiful thing
It's
I've
cute,
ever
innit?
heard.
It's cute, yeah.
It's
It's
actually
cute. It's
so
cute.
cute. The whole
Yeah.
time she was behind the camera.
She's behind the camera, yeah.
How did that feel though as well? Because it's like, there's a level of like, okay, you know me as like,
Yeah, she knows me.
hobby, whatever. And now
Yeah.
I'm having to turn into,
Well, she's creative. She's an artist.
Okay,
So
so
there's
she
that element
gets
where
it.
she understands. And I think authenticity is very important behind the camera. I know that's like a buzzword, but like, if you are you, we can tell you're you. So right now I'm talking like this. I'm quite, I'm like this in real life. So if I'm on camera and I'm doing all this, it's just an extension of me. So I'm not having to switch it on per se. So I think like it's very important that the content is aligned with who you actually are in real life. So if I was like talking to like a mysterious introvert who was making some sort of dark garage, like a almost oxymoron, but like if he was making that, I'll be like, stand in a dark room, don't say anything, maybe hide your face, never go on Instagram live. Like I think as long as it aligns with who you are, that's gonna do the best, because you can feel it through the camera when you're watching someone. You're like, oh, Bliss just jumped out the cut. I can imagine him jumping. If I didn't have crutches, I can imagine him jumping. It's something I'll do in real life. So I think that's really important as well. Yeah.
To add to that point, because I know that like people are saying, these gurus and people are saying, be on every platform, post on every platform, repost on every platform. I found what helped me, especially on Instagram, is deciding on which platform I wanted to post on, deciding on which platform felt authentic to me and the way I wanted to build my audience. And I felt my goal is to like build like a cult-like audience, people that come back time after time, 10 albums down the line, they still remember the first one.
Mhm.
So I was thinking, what platform represents that? What platform to me has those people that live on that platform? To me, that's Instagram. So I decided to start posting like I did on TikTok, which is every day, 4-second video, hooky thing, caption on Instagram. Like, I don't know, 2-3 months later, I found the people that I was looking for. I was super intentional and authentic, and I was like, I feel like I don't fit in TikTok, and I love TikTok, and I still post on TikTok now, but it's a different approach, and it didn't feel as authentic. It didn't feel like somebody could get to know who I was
Mhm.
from even this 4-second video. And what I do like about Instagram is you can see the reel, it reels you in. You go to the post, you stay posting. You know what I mean?
That's a reload there,
You
innit?
go to the story, you get the story. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is.
See
and
on the camera, she said that. I went,
You're like, anger, bah.
oh
I did
my
steal
know,
that. I,
stars,
I
bro.
definitely stole that from one of those gurus, but it's so true.
Those gurus creep
Like
me out.
it is, those gurus are hilarious, but
Yeah.
it is so true. Like Instagram, you can build this community, and
Yeah.
TikTok, it's fun. You can go on trends and you can catch people and you can go viral on TikTok really easy. But at the end of the day, I'm a live artist. I want to tour. I want to go
Hey,
and play shows,
Yeah.
and I need people that are going to come to those.
100.
Yeah, what you say there as well about like figuring out what social media platform was right for you. Yes, mad important. I agree. Like for instance, I don't use Facebook or Snapchat anymore. I used to use it because they were once upon a time they were the newest things or the hottest things or whatever. I know people still use these platforms today. Like I have a Facebook account, but that's only because it's linked to like ads manager of Instagram and stuff. But I would say in the past that year, I haven't used Facebook at all because I thought to myself, I just want to focus on my energy where I feel like it's serving me the most and I feel like there's a return of investment and I just enjoy it as well. Like I feel like it's easier to be somewhere as a producer of content when you're enjoying it as a consumer of content, I find. And I just found that as a consumer, I just don't use Facebook and I just don't use Snapchat. Like, whereas I use Instagram and I use TikTok. So it's just easy. It's just like, oh, I consume things on there. So it's easy to do both ways round in that way. Yeah.
I really agree with that. Like, I think that it's the same thing with music where like I love listening to music. So, and that's when I feel the best when I'm making it. And it ties into what you guys were saying about authenticity and about like I was a big thing in the beginning. It's like I might not be mugging at the camera, but I'm going to be playing a song or figuring out how to write a song or figuring out the best way to kind of explain it so I may as well kind of like it makes it easier to understand what to post and what to share. And I think it touches on what you guys said. Like in the beginning, the issue is the culture's changed, but we have to you don't have to, but there's this expectation of you contextualizing yourself. So when you're talking about introducing yourself and saying that you're doing grunge soul, or me introducing it the way that I was, it's because that wouldn't have been your job before. Like you would have had an input. If you were in the music, if you're in the if you're on a label or in the music industry, someone else would have come in and been like, like this, not like that. Okay, cool. And then when they explain it to their people, other people in positions, they could have like a shorthand for it. But now you're in your room, and you don't look at yourself from the outside in that much. You're always looking at it from the inside out. And I think that's what people find really challenging is, how do you look at yourself from the outside in, which is an unnatural thing to do, and try and see yourself through other people's eyes. And I think what all of you guys have said is you demystified it. You're with your partner, and at the end of the day, you're like, I'm at the train station anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas for everybody else, it's like, oh, he's always about. He's
always
he's moving.
I'm
he's,
there.
he's moving about. But
Yeah.
it's like, I almost think, like, I think that's amazing. And I also think you shouldn't even, you're living your life. and you're just doing what you want to do and you're moving, and then people probably come to you and be like, I love the way you always use the train, and you're like, because it's where I'm at.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was in Sudbury. Yeah.
It's sustainability. Like,
Yeah.
it's inserting social media and the fact that you have to post on social media every day into your
life.
routine
Thank
and
you.
into your life.
Manageable.
And that is making it
Yeah,
manageable.
making it
Otherwise,
manageable,
it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah,
it needs to
100%.
be something that you can see yourself doing. Like, can I see myself? Like, I used to stand. It was in the old place I used to live in. There was like squares in the door. I used to put my phone in the door when I was going out
Wow.
to say, write my caption, send it, off I go. You know what I mean? I'm in the car, quick little video,
Yeah.
caption, 6 p.m, boom, posted. Like, it was just like, it's just those things, like putting it in. It's like any habit, building a habit,
Basically.
putting it within your routine, where you find a moment where you're just like, yeah, I can fit it in there. That's why I'm not really a fan of content days.
I hear you.
I'm not really a fan of content
Yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Or like having a schedule per se, or like, I'm like, I just need to know that I have to do it today, and when I get to do it,
You do it.
Done.
Yeah.
and get it done.
It's overwhelming though.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that's the part people don't talk. I mean, it is overwhelming
Oh,
to
100%.
have that level of growth over a period of time. Like, I look at people that I look up to sometimes, different rappers, and I'll be like, okay, cool, you're on 50K, and I've been following you for 4 years. So I saw you go from, like, when I started following you, you were on 30K, and now you're on 50K over a 4-year period. But people don't talk to you about what a sudden, not sudden, but like, if you're on, 8K and then you're on 30K at the end of the year, that's crazy.
And that's what I want to talk about now.
That's mad.
I want to talk about, so you're posting the videos. Obviously, the intention is to get it out there. Like, obviously, you knew what you kind of wanted from it, and now you've got it. You've woken up, your phone's blowing off. It's on bare, like millions of views even. The followers are coming in. First question, how do you utilize that moment and make sure it doesn't go to waste? If there is such thing, like, did you know what to do? Did you know, right, cool, boom, whatever. And then how did it actually make you feel? So you've mentioned it felt overwhelming.
Yeah. I think overwhelming in terms of keeping the consistency up and keeping the quality up, because I'm a music, like I care way more about music. Like, I care about music so much. Like, it can take me long to write songs sometimes because I care about the sound and how it moves people. But then at the same time, part of my brain is like, you do know you got to be in people's faces. And then because of how I analyze, I see the positive impact of making music at a high level, posting consistently. It's a feedback loop, because, more people following me. Okay, more people stream my music. Okay, more people came to that show. Oh, I saw them. Oh, I sold the merch. Oh, it went. Like, I'm seeing the results of the stuff. So I can't even lie to myself and say, yo, you don't need to do this, because the results are in front of me in terms of the positives.
Yeah.
And then there's also, I was saying this earlier about me and D, like, because a lot of our following is skewed towards London, England, and you have that kind of middle point where you're now recognizable, but you haven't blown. So because, I mean, there were times when we would look at 28 days, like, okay, 3 million accounts reached. I'm thinking, 3 million, what? So I'm thinking, okay, cool. But then it's like, okay, UK 61%, I'm thinking, raw. So then there was one time Sunday morning, I had a dry elbow. I went Greg's. Yeah. This is serious. I went
The way you tell
dry elbow,
stories.
Greg's. And I'm there. Literally, I'm in Watford. Come on, I live there. And then I'm there, and then he's just like, yo, what? Namesbliss, what are you saying? I'm like, yeah, what you saying, though? I got a dry elbow. And I'm thinking, he's rating me for my music, but I hope he doesn't see my elbow.
Yeah.
You understand? So there is that element of, like, it does change your life a bit, and it changes your privacy and different things. Like, there are a lot of things which we're figuring out on the go in a way, because it's not like we're with a label and now they're pushing us. We've pushed ourselves, and you might not, 77,000 people following you, you might not even know who saw you. So you probably be out and about sometimes. Someone might DM you, say, oh, by the way, love your music, by the way. And you were just out and about buying yogurt from Tesco's or whatever. Do you understand? So it's an interesting one.
You feel a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a shift. I also think the numbers are like as a great marker of, I guess not a great marker, they're a marker of progress for sure. But you get into this whole world of like, oh, you have this many thousand followers, so how many things should this like, and how many likes should your post get, and all of this. And in the beginning, it's easy, I think, to kind of get caught up in that. But I think it's what you said, like you want them to like the music, and whether there's 5 people of those 77K, like, even you want to look after, you want them to feel like how you would want to feel, like, as you were saying, as an audience member or as someone following someone else, that someone's not taking your attention for granted. So that's a learning curve, because there's no school, there's no education for that. And the guru people make me laugh. Have you noticed how angry they are now?
Start posting reels.
No. There's one. I get some angry ones who are like, you know what you're doing, and if you don't, and I'm like, right, like, I'm just eating my cereal. Like,
What have I done?
but sorry, to go back to the question. It's definitely. I remember you saying to me, you were like, oh, you're like, I hit 20K or something, and then I was like, how's amazing. And you were like, I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like for me. It happened. Yeah, it happened, and I was like, I mean, I was aiming for 10, and I would have been happy at 10. So this is cool now. And then also, I think it made me, in some ways, pivot my Reels content, because I was never I'm not aiming for hundreds of thousands of followers, like on Instagram. Like, yeah, hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners and people coming to my shows, but like, I don't want to be an influencer. So I was like, okay, what point do I pivot my content from being to reach new people to build community with the ones that I found?
Wow.
I found nearly 30,000 people. How do I get those 30,000 people to now convert from just seeing my 4-second post on Instagram, streaming my song a few times, maybe adding it to their playlist, and then scrolling into the abyss? How do I become what I want to be in their world? And especially because I feel a sense of responsibility as a young Black woman who makes alternative music and who plays guitar and who writes songs in the way I write songs, to be representation for that in the industry. So how do I keep how do I keep showing these people who I am, you know, other than just like making posts to reach people? And my posts that went viral were very much posts to reach people, you know. They weren't like music video clips and things like that. They were posts that I engineered to reach people, and they did. So it's just like, okay, I've got to pivot. Which was a scary thing to do, because when you've got a trending sound and every video you're posting after getting 1 million views is getting 30K, 40K, 20K, 10K, you're like, cool, sweet. And you got to start a new sound. And then you got to post a different form of content, and then you got to try and reach a different type of person. You got to reach your audience. It's like the game is brand new again.
But I think that, to be honest, is something that's important to say, is and I think you kind of said it already, which is the app is more, as maybe I'm wrong and you guys can disagree with me, is more geared towards reaching new people. So that's what I mean by, I think when maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, if someone had 50K followers, then chances are majority of them 50K people were going to see what they're posting. But now if you have 50K followers, it's a high chance that a lot of those people aren't going to see them. And I think that's why James Blake was on the news the other day, because he's doing shows and people are like, I didn't even know you're doing a show. And he's like, I've been posting it. So that direct communication, and then it leads into a whole other thing, which is it's a reality of how you reach new people, and there's pros and cons to that. But in terms of how to nurture a relationship with your audience in a way that feels pure and good, it's tricky to reach them repeatedly. So then numbers no longer, they're a little bit fugazi, because one person can have 10K followers and those 10K see everything that they post, and one other person can have just 680,000 followers, but like 2K people are seeing what they're doing the whole
so
time.
Mad.
And that is very regular, and it's not. That's what how it looks from the inside and how it looks from the outside are two different things. So there's a sense for me personally of progress and achievement that I've sold out shows because of social media. That would never have happened. Where would they have found my music for that to happen? But on the other hand, I don't feel like I could fill a 70,000 arena.
Okay, like every single follower will come.
Yeah, because it's not designed that way. Yeah,
It's not designed. They're not gonna see it. And even if they are gonna see it, some of them are hit, and that's amazing. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, for if people are interested in demystifying it, that's a really important point I think to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's true because kind of does tie into what the question was, Amelia, about like what you do and you get virality and you get influx of followers and you feel like your audience is increasing. I'm in that situation now where because this year my followers have gone up so much, I was like, all right, cool. I don't want it to just be internet videos that people are taking in on this platform. Is great, but I'd like to take them away from this platform and see how many people can I take away from this platform to somewhere else, whether it's another digital platform or for something physical, a place for people to come to. So for me, that was putting on a pop-up show at Box Park Shoreditch.
That's cold.
To see, like, will anybody turn up? Like, I'm on X amount of followers now. Like, at that time, I had like, I don't know, maybe 12K followers, 50, I don't know, something like that. And I said, okay. And I remember like writing it in the captions of my posts and saying it in videos, like, it's cool to have you lot here on the internet with me, but I'd like to link up in person and like take this energy on our phone screens and like do this in real life. And that worked. So that was an example of how I utilized this sharp increase of attention. And like, see, now I'm doing my headline show in a couple of weeks. But challenge. I've been humbled, like literally the past week I've been humbled, like,
Oh my God, I'm losing people.
I was tired and I just thought, and in my head I just thought, let me just say what I actually think.
It's basically, it can't be about numbers.
you know, it's a legal trap, innit?
And my music was Rascal ready. My social media numbers were not Rascal ready.
So the Under 5K Club was born from when my show on BBC Radio London was discontinued. It's crazy as well how you attach yourself to these platforms. So I was questioning my value. I was questioning, okay, who am I anymore?
So that was surreal for me. I'm like, this came from just going ham.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so
That's amazing.
And this is social media.
That's through Twitter, isn't
Why
it?
does
Really.
It's through Twitter, yeah. It was.
If you say you want to be a career musician, you're saying you want to be in the 1% bracket of people, and then you expect it to be easy. What?
So now I think it's about teaching people how to stay, how to make sure their mental health is good in this, because
That's why I said it before you, innit? Because I knew you were going to say, I was going to ask him about this instead.
How do we shift that power dynamic? Do you now feel like you're almost now at service and almost doing exactly what Instagram has wanted you to do? Because really and truly, you keep doing that. Instagram's winning.
It's amazing, bro.
when you make good music and you put it in front of people, it will find the people that it needs to find.
Yeah.